Hello fellow Lego enthusiasts and welcome to my channel. We are here in Customsville where we have a new building. This is the bank and it's the first building of the street that will go up to the railroad tracks and probably also continue on the other side, but I think maybe the buildings will face the railroad, so they will be this way. So those green plates will be replaced with brown plates later. And then we will have one row of buildings this way and one row facing the other way, so that we can actually get a street. And if I have space for it, then I can have some buildings facing some other ways, maybe sideways or something, up front here. But I will see what I can fit in. The bank took a lot more room than I actually had thought. I wanted it to have it a lot smaller, but there was no room inside when I did that, so I had to build it this big. But it's okay, because it's a bank and it's a prominent building in the town, I guess. And when we get to some of the other buildings, they will be a lot smaller. But that'll come later, because I have to get the parts and I have to figure out how to build them. And as you probably have understood by now, things go a little slow in my workshop. But let's take a look at the town. We have some robbers that's already robbed the bank, and it's just been here for 5 minutes. So that's quick. Inside the bank, you can't see it now because the roof isn't modular yet. That's one of the few steps that I have left. I didn't have the pieces that I needed to build it modular, so I will get those and just place a row of tiles and some studs to keep it on as soon as I can. But I will take some pictures and put in my Tullfors blog, and I will add the link to that blog in the comments below, so you can go there and see if you like. It's not very much inside. It's a little bench for the people to sign the checks, and then you have a big safe. That's the safe slightly modified from the Lone Ranger bank that I used for parts. And also there's a fenced off area where the people work, so that the robbers can't get to the safe and blow it up without actually damaging a lot of the bank. I thought about putting in a back door to the bank, but figured out, why would I do that? I just pretend that there's a door inside instead. I'm sorry, but that's the way it has to be, because I don't have all the space that I wanted to have. If I had all the space in the world, then I would build bigger buildings, more details, 100% realistic, but I'm not there yet. But let's talk a little bit about what you see here. You have one floor that's a little higher than a regular house, because it's the bank, so it's a more important building. The roof is flat, but we have a little bit of build-up to hold the sign. That's a sign from the Lone Ranger bank. Actually, it's the only bank sign I have, and I think it looks quite good, so I wanted to use that. And that was my idea all along. And if you see on the side here, you see we have 4 studs of brown, and that's the plan, to have 4 studs between the buildings. So that next building, I will not put a sidewalk on the side of that. I will just add it to this sidewalk. That's my plan, and I think that will look quite authentic, because then you have room to walk between the buildings, but you can't travel. But if you want to use a wagon or a horse, then you go around the building and around the rows of buildings. If I had more room, I would make an alley where I have a little room between those sidewalks, but I don't think I have the room for it, because when I see how much the bank takes up now, it actually takes up the whole width of a base plate, 32 by 32 base plate. So it's a lot more than I originally had intended. And well, it just had to be that way because I needed, like I said, I needed the room inside, and I want the bank to be a decent building. But when I make the barber shop that I'm going to have in here, for instance, that's going to be a lot smaller. And I'm thinking the barber shop will come on this side. And as you see, the sheriff's office, that is also smaller. That's the only building that I have from before. I plan to modify it a bit. I'm not going to do it now, but maybe the next time I'm here, I'm going to bring the bricks to do it. And the idea is that I'm going to use the same bricks that I have on the bank and build just actually change the planks on the jail cell, so that the jail cell is built with bricks and bars, because we don't want prisoners to escape. And there's a play feature there now. I don't think I have removed it. Let's see. Yeah, it's still there. That's a play feature that came with a Lone Ranger set, because this is the sheriff's office from the Lone Ranger box. Well, one of the Lone Ranger boxes. When I just removed the sheriff's sign on the top there and used an old sign that was on the cowboy sets that came in the 90s, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't checked right now, but I think it was in the 90s. And I think that sign is a lot better. And you can see the sign there and the sign on the bank, and it's sort of the same, but not exactly the same. And I wanted to make it in the same style, but those dark green pieces are quite expensive, so I didn't want to buy a whole lot of pieces. I bought some 1s and 2s for enforce, and I have some 1s left, but nothing more than that. But I think for the bank, that is an okay way to do it. It's just really to keep the sign on there, so I think it will be okay. And then I will vary that top thing on the other buildings that I build, depending on what kind of buildings. Some will have something on top there, and some will not have it. And maybe some of the buildings will have several floors, like the saloon. I think the saloon will come here, facing the railroad tracks, when I see how little space I have left here. Because I want to have the saloon, I want to have a barber shop. That's going to be a small building, as small as I can. Because the barber, he doesn't need really that much. And we're going to have, all of a sudden the English word is disappearing from me. The guy who takes care of the dead, the mortuary. Not really a mortuary, but yeah, you know, the undertaker, that's the word, the undertaker. We need to have an undertaker, and he needs a little bit of room, but not too big on our office, but he needs to have maybe 2/3 of that building, so you can have a door and some windows and a coffin outside, and a room in the back where he can build more coffins. And who knows, he might even be a combined carpenter and undertaker. So I don't need to have a carpenter too. But I'll think about that. Maybe I just skip the carpenter. I don't really need that. But I like to have I like to have an undertaker, because it's a wild town, and it's a very iconic Western figure from a lot of Western movies, where you have the Undertaker coming out, taking measures of the guy who he thinks is going to lose the duel in the main street and things like that. And I just want to have that, because to me that is sort of part of the Wild West, and I want that. And I'm gonna have station for the coach, where we also might put a hotel. That's going to be a building with 2 or 3 floors, and we might put that right here where you see now, beside the bank, because then we will have sort of the main street. I think it's fitting that the stage come in at the main street, And originally I thought I wanted to have a lot of corrals and things for the horses, so they can switch horses. But I don't know what I said earlier, because I speak a lot and don't think that much. But maybe if I put the stage depot here, actually, then I can have the corral behind it. And at the far end here, we're going to have the station, the railroad station. I know that for sure. I want to have that there. Because the other option would be to have it here. But I think it's more fitting to have more things that you see downtown around here. So a saloon on that side. Undertaker is going to be on this side. Maybe build, if I can, I can build it so you can watch. You can look into his work area, and just have a door at both the front and the back of the building. And there's a lot of other buildings that I would like to fit, but now I know how much now I know how much space the bank takes up, and that's a building where there actually is something inside. If I just want to build a building with nothing, almost nothing inside, I want all buildings to have some interior. But like the barber, he just needs a chair and some bottles with potions and things, so he don't need that much space. He can do with a building that is perhaps 8 wide, 8 by 8 perhaps even. You don't need more space than that, so that's quite quick to build. And I can also maybe make a bathhouse that can stand somewhere around here, and I could add some blue in that square that is just table right now, so there could be sort of a watering hole or somewhere you can collect water to the bathhouse. But I haven't decided yet exactly what I want to do with that, but that's one of the ideas that I have. Also, this mountain and the mine, I can move that if I get the way I want to do it. Then maybe I can add some length, maybe one tile like that to the end of the table, so I can move the mine backwards and build just a small mountainside in the back. I'll figure out what to do, because eventually you'll just see around here those wooden, well, not shelves, but benches maybe. They are going to be removed, and we're going to put up some shelves where I can have my unbuilt Lego sets. Also, I have the Apocalypse set there, and a Maersk boat that I don't have any room for now. Because the idea is that this room will be my sort of second Lego room. It used to be a washroom, so it's quite rough, but hey, that's okay. We don't care too much about that, do we? The idea is that I'm gonna have the Western Town. That's my main build, and for this room, of course, you all seen Tullfors. That's in the next room, and that's really the main build. That's the big town, and Customsville is the second biggest town, and the Western Town. It's probably the one that I have I have the most affection for, I would say, because I love the Wild West, and I've seen 100 Western movies, read 100 Western books, more even. I collect some Western books, some series. I love Westerns. It's a big part of my life, the Wild West and Westerns, and well, I want to have as big a Western town as possible. But if I could extend the table a little bit, you see, I can add to the table just by adding something, putting it on, maybe with hinges or something like that, and some extra pins to hold it up or something. I have a few ideas on how I can do that. And then maybe I even can extend it in both ends and move the town up, and I can have two 32 by 32 base plates at the end there and move things down. But I'll figure that out. My entire idea is that I want to have as much as possible space for the Western town. And then I want to have some shelves to store my unbuilt sets. That's quite a lot of sets, but hopefully more and more of them will be built as well. But Lego keeps coming out with cool new things, so every time they do, I end up with a bigger backlog of unbuilt sets. I don't collect to collect, I collect to build. That's my idea. And well, as well as the western town in this room, I want to have 2 dioramas, sort of. But I'm thinking of maybe putting them in a corner, and the idea is to have I can have them on top of each other. That's no problem. Just shelf somehow. I have to build it myself, of course, but I'm such a bad carpenter. I'm sure that it will work out fine. And the idea then is that I can have maybe in this corner or that one. It's dry now because we have fixed the outside, but it still looks a little wet and crappy. But a little bit of paint, and we can come a long way with that. And then I can have the dioramas. I want to have the Arctic diorama for all the Arctic exploration sets that Lego has come out with. There's at least 2 or 3 ships and a lot of polar expedition things. So I want to have that, and I want to have a swamp for the swamp police, with swamp police and bandits, and lots of alligators, maybe some snakes. I hate snakes, but you might need them in the swamp. I'm not going to have snakes in the western town. Perhaps maybe if the Indians use some for fun, or maybe in some medicine ritual or something, then they can have some. But I don't think they do, actually. I think they're quite modern here, so I think I think the medicine man has the same kind of medicines that the white people, or the yellow people would be, but the Indians are yellow as well, so everyone is equal and everyone has the same skin color almost. There are some different skin colors, some Indians that have some more Native American skin tones, and some cowboys that have the pinkish skin tone, but most of them are yellow, and that's just to show that we are all one big family here in Customsville. So I'm just gonna sweep over the town now and finish this video. I rambled on way too long. I was going to just show you the bank, and then I started rambling, as I always do. Sorry about that. But I'll see you soon, and next time I'm probably going to show you something in Tulfors, because it's going to take a little time to get the next building done. Thank you for watching. Enjoy building.